Hello everyone, welcome back to Nude Wellness. I'm Selena if you are new here. It is so lovely to be back. It feels like forever. I put on my community tab that sometimes I like to take some time to reevaluate, experiment with my own process and see what works quicker for me. I wanted to experiment with a couple things and kind of dive a little deeper to make my manifestation game and journey like more fun, sustainable, and effortless. And they're the three things that I want to speak about today. As always, your reality, your rules. So anything I speak about is going to be my assumptions of the law of assumption. Also, when it comes to those three words, fun, sustainable, and effortless, they may completely mean something different to you. So I may be listing a bunch of stuff and someone's like, that sounds like a lot of work. That doesn't really sound effortless to me. Whereas another person's going to be like, oh my God, she's simplified everything. That makes so much sense. Yes, that is so effortless and that's sustainable for me. So take what resonates, discard what doesn't, do what you will. You're God. You're the creator. You get to decide. That's the awesome part of law of assumption because you get to decide what functions in your world and your reality. Before I dive into today's video, two things. One, I want to call you guys nudies. I think that's a really cute name for the community. Nudies, because of nude wellness. In another video, I'll discuss why I titled my channel, my business, Nude Wellness. And secondly, so let me know, nudies. I think it's cute. Secondly, what was I going to say? Oh, coaching. So email, DM coaching, details are in the description below. I have loved working. I have loved working with so many new DM coaching clients. It's been amazing to be, kind of connect with you in a more intimate level through voice notes, DMs, daily contact. It's just really nice. And I can kind of tailor things more that way to you and kind of help you in the moment. So yes, if you're wanting that, details are in the description. But today's video is going to be so jam-packed anyway. Listen to it multiple times if you need to, because all the info is in this video and in all my other videos. But today's going to be a banger. I know it is. It might be a long one, so just warning you. Okay, let's dive into it, shall we? All right, the first thing that I want to say is I found myself trying too hard. So I have in the past identified as someone who is a hard worker, who puts in a lot of effort to get what they want. And I got what I wanted, but I would always have to put in effort. And I don't want to identify as that version of me anymore. Whereas someone else who identifies as they're spoiled, they always get what they want, life is easy, they may have had an easier, quote unquote, easier time with manifesting. So what I have, because I was identifying as someone who is a hard worker and has to try hard, then my habits, because I'm coming from the state of trying hard and being a hard worker, then my beliefs and my habits, my self-concept, all of that kind of moved into my manifestation game where I felt I had to do everything perfectly. I had to do all of these things in order to manifest. And yes, they worked. Okay, because my assumption was that I had to do all this work to manifest. And I have lists and lists of things that I have been able to manifest all through affirming because I have a flexible schedule. I could spend the whole day if I wanted to just reciting affirmations and I would get my stuff, but it can be a little tiring sometimes. Sometimes it's really fun for me and I really enjoy it and I just want to say affirmations all day. And other times I'm like, oh, wow, okay, this is a lot of work. This shit better come soon because this is a lot of work. And then I start focusing on time because I'm like, okay, so I've done all this work, then why isn't it here? Why isn't it showing up? And then I'm kind of wasting my energy on trying so hard rather than using my energy to persist. And I found myself kind of in that little cycle. And so I don't want to identify as that version of me anymore. I don't want to identify as someone who has to try hard, especially in the manifestation game. And this may resonate with some of you, and some of you are like, what are you talking about? It's been so easy for me. And that's probably because of the version of you that you have identified with and the state that you were in. So that's why I want to talk about states. States being state of mind, state of consciousness. Just think of it as kind of like a mindset, like where you're coming from. I like to see states as like items of clothing. So if you're in a victim state, let's say, you've got your victim hat on. If you're in a fearful state, you've got your fearful jacket on. If you're in the God state, maybe you have glasses on, like your God state glasses, and you're seeing the world through your God state glasses. Therefore, if they are items of clothing, let's use this analogy, you can take these on and off. You can take the glasses off, you can take the hat off, you can take the jacket off very easily and choose another state, decide to be in that state and put that item of clothing on. So if you find yourself in a victim state, and I'll go more into this, and you've got your victim, what did I say? Was it hat? Victim state hat on, then you can simply take that off and put on your God state glasses and be like, cool, I'm in the God state and everything works for me. And Neville Goddard said that, I think I really like this, how your reality recalibrates depending on the state that you are in. So everything shifts. Just see it as everything shifts for you depending on what state you're in. So you drag your SP into the state of you that is in victim state. You drag your SP in God state to God state if you're in God state. You drag your SP into fearful state. There are an infinite amount of states and you get to decide what the states are. For me, I have found I can go to victim state, fearful state, worried state. I can be in God state. I can be in the woman who has it all state. And so my number one tip, my first thing for you, that is the thing I do on a daily, is to go back to the God state as much as possible throughout the day and do my best to maintain it throughout the day. It's not hard at all. It's simply just deciding to be in that state. God state being God state, creator state, you can call it bad bitch state, boss state, the woman or man who has it all state, the state where you get everything you want or you have everything you want. You will know you are in that state, in a powerful state, by how you're kind of feeling in your body. Not like, oh, I have to feel things to manifest. It's more like, no, I know I am anxious and worried and in victim mode I get a tightness in my chest when I'm anxious. I get shortness of breath. My mind is running like 100 miles an hour. The intrusive thoughts are coming in. I am making up scenarios in my head that aren't even true. I'm literally making up stories and being delusional, believing the BS that my ego is telling me, okay? I know that I am out of God state. When I'm in God state, I'm just going to call it God state from now on, or when I'm in the state where I have everything I want, I feel powerful. I don't give a shit what the 3D is showing me. If the 3D shows me something that's kind of like icky, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I might have my human moment and get annoyed or upset for like 5 minutes. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm the one who's in charge here. Like, I'm the only one who is deciding how things go. I'm the only one with free will. Therefore, this shit has to change. This doesn't even faze me. If I'm in God state, I don't need to worry about anything, okay? Everything will conform to how I am thinking. That's how manifestation works. The law never fails. And that's what I really encourage you to do, is to get back into that state as much as possible, because this helps us place the focus on ourselves, therefore no one to change but self. And you're you're moving the focus away from the 3D where you're trying to change stuff from the outside. Like, I'm going to say my affirmations so I can change this. And I found myself, I was saying my affirmations, but I was still very much focusing on the 3D. So I was like, I'm going to keep saying these affirmations, but I'm still focused on this 3D. And yes, it will work, okay? Because if you have the assumption that just saying your affirmations, even if it's vainly, it will work. But for me, in my experience, it's a longer and a harder process. I should have been saying my affirmations and actually focusing on what my affirmations were saying, like what that actually meant to me. How would I feel as the version of me who had, I don't know, whether you're manifesting the job, the promotion, the physical change, the physical appearance changes, the SP, like what does that version of you look like? Because just like there are infinite number of states, there are infinite versions of yourself. Think about it this way. Every time you get a manifestation, you're a new version of yourself. So what is the version of you who is in that amazing relationship look like? What are they doing? Like, what is that version of you do on a daily basis? What is that version of you? How do they think on a daily basis? All of those things, like, shift into that version of you. And I'm going to speak about that more in a second, well, later in the video. Therefore, the easiest way I have found to get into the God state is just deciding, is affirming and deciding. So I'm going to talk about, again, the kind of the big 3 techniques. So affirming, scripting, and visualizing, I call them the big three. I'll talk about that in a sec. But you use those techniques to get into a more beneficial state. So see states, this state of mind, state of consciousness, as this broad, everything comes from your state. You're manifesting from your state. The techniques that you are using help you get into a better state. So therefore, we should be focusing on that state and focusing on ourselves and going, okay, let's kind of be mindful of my thoughts and kind of be aware of what state I'm in. Go, okay, so I'm clearly in victim mode here. If what's going through my head is the 3D is taking ages, it's not conforming, why is everyone else getting their stuff and I'm not? My SP isn't doing what I'm telling them to do. I put in all this work, it's taking too long, da-da-da-da. Like all of those sorts of thoughts, that's you in victim mode. And we don't want that. So get out of it. The easiest way for you to get out of it is to pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself of your power. Okay. And I mean, really remind yourself. If you need to look in the mirror, look into your eyes like you're directly talking to your subconscious mind, go ahead. But you need to remind yourself and say it with conviction, like, no, that is, I'm clearly in victim mode here. I am God, or I have God power within me, or I'm an extension of God, however you want to phrase it. Like, I am God. I'm the creator here. I'm the only one with free will. Therefore, everything has to conform to me, to what I say. No one else is thinking in my reality but me. I always get what I want. I get what I want lightning fast, okay? I am a master manifester. I have the power within me. I am the creative force in my reality. If you want to rampage and be saying about reminding yourself of your power and rampaging it, go ahead. I want you to, as you're saying this with conviction and reminding yourself of who you are, like really reminding yourself, like, I'm God, this is happening. I don't give a shit what the 3D is showing me. This is happening, okay? The law always works. I always get what I want and I get it quickly and easily. I don't know. I manifest within 1 to 2 days, max. I manifest within 24 hours. My reality is my bitch. Like, if you want to get aggressive with it, especially when you're feeling quite triggered to get out of that victim state and get into that God state, then go ahead. And by doing that, reminding yourself of your power, you shift your thoughts. The intrusive thoughts will stop. Therefore, you won't have to be flipping negative thoughts or unwanted thoughts all day, because when you change states, when you go from victim mode and you decide to go into another state, say you decide to be like, okay, I'm reminding myself of my power, I'm getting into the God state, your self-concept changes, you feel empowered, you feel you're the baddest bitch out, you feel you are God, you know everything is coming from you, you're the creative force, nothing's going to worry you. Therefore, if there is nothing for you to worry about, then these intrusive thoughts stop. Or if they do come in, it's very easy for you to kind of flick them away and be like, no, that's not part of this state. I don't identify with that anymore. That's the old version of Selena. Okay, we don't think like that anymore. The new version of me, who has everything she wants and is God, knows she is God, and will always get what she wants and will make, her desires a reality, doesn't think like that. That's how you need to be talking to yourself. So your self-concept shifts every time you shift states. Your intrusive thoughts will stop. So the thoughts will change. Your beliefs, in my opinion, also change. So everything changes. Plus, your reality recalibrates and shifts with you every time you change states. So states is the number one thing that you want to get into. So like I mentioned before, your big 3 techniques that you use, your affirmations, your visualizations, and your scripting all help you get into a beneficial state. So if you need to remind yourself of your power, and you're someone who affirms, then remind yourself of your power through affirming. If you are someone who scripts, then start scripting that you are God and you are the creator and you get everything you want. And do that for 5 to 10 minutes so you can step back into your power. And what you want to do is throughout the day, keep doing that. Every time you slip out of that God state and you find yourself back in victim mode, or you find yourself being fearful or anxious, be like, whoa, we are not doing this, right? We're getting back into the God state. I've clearly slipped up here. And again, because humans are like this, you then judge yourself. Don't be judging yourself or be scared that you have slipped out of God state and you've gone into victim mode. Totally fine. You're still getting what you want. It just feels better to be in God state. So come back to God state, because you're going to manifest a whole lot quicker, in my opinion. So breathe and just get back into the God state as quickly as you can. Maybe you need to visualize and be visualizing yourself with your desire, or the fact that someone is telling you of how amazing of a manifester you are. You really need to know this. And the best thing is when you are feeling doubt, when you are triggered, remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself of who you are. When the 3D is acting up, you need to come back to reminding yourself that you are not your thoughts. You are God. You are above all of it. Okay. It's this awareness of what state you are in. Oh my goodness. We're already at 15 minutes. Okay. This is going to be a long video. All right. Number 2, the second thing I do daily. Like I've mentioned before, I'm an affirmer. I like to affirm. So my tip then is 1, make your affirmations, if you're an affirmer, feel conversational, and then also exaggerate them. I also like to repeat my affirmations whenever I think of my desire. I'm someone as well who likes to have a longer story. If you can tell, I talk a lot. So therefore, I talk a lot in my mind. Some people like 1 to 3 affirmations for a specific desire. And that can kind of help me if I'm feeling a little bit triggered. Like if I'm triggered and I remind myself to get back into my God state, or I use affirmations to get into my God state, then I might choose 1 or 2 things like, hey, Selena, you're God, you're the creator, everything will conform. And I might start looping those 3 over and over to get back into that God state and kind of shift my mindset. But generally, when it comes to a specific desire, I like to kind of have them quite conversational. So for example, say you're manifesting money. I would be saying like, oh yeah, money literally pours into my life. I am swimming in money. I make thousands of dollars a week, thousands of dollars a day. Like money is my bitch. I am money's favorite person. My business has skyrocketed. It is booming. And I kind of say things like that, like I'm kind of telling someone, or I'm even talking to myself in my head. And then I like to exaggerate them if I'm feeling kind of triggered, or if I kind of want to feel a bit more powerful. So then I'll be like, yeah, money is my bitch. I get what I want. Money conforms to me. Okay, money is the easiest thing for me to manifest. And then I kind of start saying them with a bit more backbone and conviction. So make your affirmations feel conversational and exaggerate them. And it's totally up to you how many affirmations you want. I kind of like to change things up. You don't feel you have to stick to the same 3 affirmations and be saying them for weeks and weeks on end. Change things up if you want to. Again, you're God of your reality. You've been manifesting before you even consciously were manifesting. And I can guarantee you then when you were saying things to people, you weren't saying the same things over and over. You were saying them in different ways, but you were meaning the same thing. So like I said, I like to repeat my affirmations when I think of my desire or whenever I feel like it. What I have found is the more I'm focusing on my state, the less I feel I have to set aside time to be affirming for my desires. Because every time I'm in this God state, I know I'm getting what I want. Like it's so simple to me. I know I'm getting what I want. Keep shifting back into the God state. Yeah, I get everything I want. It's very simple. So I'm more chill. I'm more relaxed. I don't feel I have to be like, okay, did I affirm today? Did I do this today? It's like, no, I'm God. God doesn't have to do anything. Like if I am God, honestly, if you are God and you are the creator, you don't have to work hard for your manifestations to get your manifestations. They're yours. They are created. They are waiting for you. Okay, you don't have to do shit. And that's what I found. I was in this, I would call it, you don't have to take this, take it or leave it if you want to see something as like the state of trying hard. But I'm going to call that. I don't want that to be a limitation. But in my opinion, I was in this state of like trying, state of forcing, state of trying to make something happen. And I was then going, okay, what else do I have to do today? Have I done enough affirming? Have I visualized? Have I looped a scene? Have I been putting on my nightly affirmation tapes? Like all of those sorts of things. And it kind of became like this checklist of like, okay, have I done enough? And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, that I would then get frustrated. Like, I've done all this work. Why isn't it here? But again, coming back to that God state, I'm much more chill. I am calm and I don't feel I have to be spending so much time affirming. I kind of affirm when I want to, and it feels more relaxed and it feels more effortless. And the movement and the manifestations that are coming so quickly like this because of me being in my God state is amazing. And I have so much more energy as well to be able to kind of live my life and not just be consciously affirming all the time. Okay, what is my my third tip. Okay, I'm going to go into the extra stuff, but this is the third thing that I do on a daily: mental diet. Okay, so that awareness of my mindset. Okay, catching those thoughts. So if I am aware of my thoughts and I know I have got unwanted thoughts going on, okay, they are these intrusive thoughts, I know I've shifted states. So say you're watching, say you're watching Netflix and something comes on and you're manifesting an SP, okay? And something comes on about a breakup scene. And then your mind starts going down in this loop and it starts spiraling about your SP and all these things that have happened. Whoa, you shifted states here, because in the God state, we don't think like that. So you've gone into victim state, or you've gone into a fearful state. Catch that. Catch those thoughts and be like, no, I reject that. I'm coming back into the God state and reminding myself of who I am. Replace those thoughts and shift the focus back into the God state. That's what I like to do. And like I said, the more you focus on that state, your state of being, this mental diet is not going to be this never ending cycle of like catch the thoughts and replace them with an affirmation, because I found that I was doing that. It's so interesting because when other, manifestation creators talk about self-concept and affirming for self-concept is amazing, and self-concept is always going to be the foundation for stuff. But what I have realized is self-concept just allows you to get into this state, get into the God state. So by you hyping yourself up and telling yourself that you're amazing, you're a master manifester, like all these things, those affirmations about yourself just allow you to step into that God state. So you can do self-concept to step into a more beneficial state, a more powerful state, the state where you have everything you want, the state of consciousness, or you can just decide and just remind yourself of your power. So you can come at it different ways. You can affirm for your self-concept. Like I said, affirmations, scripting, and visualizations will allow you to step into another state. Or you can simply just remind yourself of who you are through one of those three techniques, and decide and stay there as much as possible. Do your best to maintain it. So to remind you, I feel like I've said states 20 million times. My top 3 things I do on a daily: going back to the God state as much as possible. 2, make my affirmations feel conversational and exaggerate them. And 3, mental diet. So just this greater awareness of my thoughts, and that will allow me to determine what state I'm in. Okay, the second part of the video, these are my extras that I kind of like to add in. Again, these are more techniques. So again, I've kind of got my big 3 of affirmations, visualization, and scripting, and these kind of fall under them, or these might be like little techniques you can use here and there. My first extra is utilizing revision. So I like to use, I think I've spoke about this before, there are 3 types of revision that I like to use. You can use instant revision, and pretty much it's just rejecting what you're currently seeing in the 3D and telling yourself a new story. So if someone says something that you don't like, you just say to yourself, no, that doesn't happen. No, they didn't mean that, or that didn't happen at all. And then carry on with your day. And that's instant revision. For example, say you're waiting for some kind of money to hit your bank account at a certain time, say by like 12 p.m. and it hasn't. You'd be like, no, I reject that. I got my money by 12 p.m. today. That's instant revision. The second type of revision is revising your day. So before you go to bed, revising in that drowsy state, in that sat state of like, oh my God, today was such an epic day. This happened, this happened, this happened. I'm so grateful. That was amazing. And kind of falling asleep into that. And the third way, the more in-depth revision, is writing out a paragraph of how you wanted the event to unfold. And then you would be reading that twice a day for at least a week. And you want to get into the habit of, once the revised version is the first thought you think of that event, then we're good. Because revision for me is all about, yes, it's definitely going to change things and shift things, but revision helps you drop the old story, allows you to shift again into a better feeling state, into the God state, and you will drop the old story. Therefore, you can shift into this new version of yourself, the version of you who is with your SP, the version of you who has the money, the version of you that has the job, etc. The second kind of extra thing that I like to use are kind of short meditations. They help to, for me, focus on that new version of myself. Again, I'm all about, it's kind of just shifting. Okay, there is nothing wrong with you. Like I said, with states, it's like simply like changing clothes, taking that jacket off, putting on a new pair of glasses, putting on a different hat, selecting that new version of you, because like I said, there are infinite versions of you. Therefore, you're not broken and you don't need fixing. You just need a shift. You need to shift into a new version of yourself and decide to kind of stay there. And that's so empowering, because I have been through the ringer with personal development over the years and like, okay, I need to heal this, I need to change this, da 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 da. But it's like, no, I just need to get into the habit of focusing on what I want and focusing on the version of me who has what I want. It's as simple as that. And with the short meditations, I find it really great to kind of be specific about what you want. So the version of you that, for example, the version of you who is in the amazing relationship with your SP, what does that relationship look like? How often are you seeing one another? What are you saying to one another? How are they treating you? What do you do on a regular? Where are you living? Like all those sorts of things. And with the meditation, you can kind of just be visualizing and enjoying it. It doesn't have to be like, okay, meditation, I need to make sure that I am sat in lotus position and my back is erect and da 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 da. It's like, no, I can literally just lie on my bed and daydream if I want to, or I can put on some guided meditation. I also find meditation is good if I'm feeling really triggered. I'm quite good at if stuff does happen in the 3D, especially recently. So maybe 3 things, kind of not what I wanted, happened in the past few weeks. The first being I went to go get my eyebrows done and the lady, the beautician who was doing it, ripped like big chunks of skin off my face. And one, that was very painful. And I was really worried that I would have a Harry Potter scar, which I didn't want on my face. And I had to then change all my plans for the weekend. I had a client flying up from Melbourne who I really wanted to meet, and like from another state. And I didn't get to see her because of this on my face. I had acting class that I had to cancel, like all of these sorts of things because of that event. But the thing was, because I have these tools in my tool belt, I was like, okay, I'm going to be upset about this, but I know that I have manifested this. Okay, I'm going to take responsibility for my own part in this, because I know I did, because as I was lying on the table, a little tangent here, but as I was lying on the table getting my eyebrows done, I was visualizing a time when I, like 10 or 11 years ago, when I had my eyebrows done and the lady ripped a big chunk of skin off, like on my eyelid, like underneath my eyebrow. And I, for some reason, decided to entertain that visual while the lady was doing my eyebrows. So when I got up and looked in the mirror, she pretty much did the same thing, but in different locations. So therefore, that was all me. Yes, I can be upset about her, but I made her do that through my own thinking. Do you know what I mean? So that was one thing. And having these toolkits to be like, okay, I'm going to take some deep breaths. I'm going to do some meditation. I'm going to cry it out. I was able to just shift states really quickly. And I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to heal. This is totally fine. I just kept focusing on what I wanted and I'm totally healed and totally fine. Another thing, what was the other thing? I got a throat infection out of nowhere. But because I was on my affirmations, wasn't bad at all. I was able to get medication very quickly, like antibiotics, and I feel so much better. I could have easily been like, where were my thoughts? What did I do wrong? Like all of this sort of stuff. But I was like, why am I going to beat myself up for things that have manifested that I didn't really like? I know I have the power now to change that and to shift that. So it's all about empowerment and not blaming yourself. Don't blame yourself for stuff that you have manifested before you even knew about conscious manifestation. And don't blame yourself now for manifesting unwanted things when you know about manifestation, like conscious manifestation. You have the power to change it. So we're all G. Okay, the third extra thing, scripting. Sometimes I like to script if I'm bored or if I'm feeling it, and sometimes I don't. What I tend to do is I tend to do 2 versions of scripting. I literally either write out all my affirmations like over and over and over again, like I'm doing lines at school and I'm just writing out the same affirmation and really focusing on it. That's one way. Again, these techniques help you shift a state and help you get into a better feeling state. Or another way I like to script is doing like little updates. So I kind of see it as like a little blog post, like you go, update. Okay, so this happened and this happened in the morning. And I kind of like to talk about it in past tense, like it already happened. Like I don't know, I got this audition came through, this money came through, someone said this, whatever I wanted. Do that in the morning. And then in the afternoon, if I've got time, they'll go, update. This is what happened, blah, 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 blah. To say you are manifesting, say you're manifesting money. You'd say in the morning, like, update. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. I just landed 5 clients. They all signed up to my highest offer, highest package. I can't wait to start with them. And then in the afternoon, you might be like, oh my God, update. I got this unexpected amount of money just came through from blah, 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 blah. Just you'd be doing updates throughout the day. You don't have to focus on the how, but it's all about kind of basking in that world and that imagination. So my fourth extra is looping a 5 to second scene before bed. Doesn't have to be the same scene every single night, but that feels good. Sometimes looping a scene for me keeps me awake and doesn't allow me to sleep. So if that's the case and I find myself trying to focus so hard on visual, again, that's when I tap into the state of trying hard. If I'm okay, I need to make it 4K and HD and the sounds, the smell, the touch, that's a lot of brain power for me. And I'm therefore not using that energy to actually fall asleep. I am focusing on this visual and I don't want to disturb my sleep because then that ruins me for the next day. So sometimes I will loop a 5 to second scene over and over again. Say you're manifesting money and you're literally you see your hands and you're counting $100 bills on your dining room table, I don't know, or on your floor, or you're opening up your banking app and you are seeing all the money, the hundreds of thousands, the millions of dollars or whatever it is that you're manifesting. You're transferring that between accounts and you're just looping that scene over and over. And the last extra that I do, nightly affirmation tapes. So I found I was doing nightly affirmation tapes for a while, but I found that they were just disturbing my sleep way too much. And therefore, the next day, I couldn't train hard in the gym because I was tired. I didn't have enough energy to persist. So therefore, any intrusive thoughts that were coming through, I was like, oh, I don't have the energy to even deal with this. So I've kind of put a pause on nightly affirmation tapes. If I feel like picking them up, I might, but that's definitely one of my last extras to do. Okay, 2 things before I finish, because I know this is already half an hour long. Things to say when you were feeling. So these are things to say when you are recreating someone, or feeling triggered. So if you're recreating someone and something's happened, you're feeling triggered, you can say to yourself, again, this is shifting the focus back to the 4D rather than going, I'm going to change you. This is going to change. It's you're doing something wrong now and I don't like that. I'm going to change it. It's no. What you would say is, oh no, that's not the person I know. The version of SP that I know is loyal, caring, absolutely head over heels in love with me, treats me like a queen, whatever it is that you want to be affirming for. And by shifting that focus, you are shifting your focus onto the 4D and the version of them that you want and that you'd be in a relationship with. And so what I would do is I'd be oh no, the person, so I'll repeat that again. No, that's not the person I know. No, that's not the person. No, that is not the person I know. The version of whatever the name is, James, the version of James that I know is, and then you would loop your affirmations. Try that. I think I found that to be quite, it doesn't have to be an SP. It literally can be anyone. It can be a colleague, a friend, family member. Again, you're shifting your focus to the 4D and you will feel less of you're trying to force change in the 3D and trying to manipulate change. It's no, that's not even a thing anymore. I'm not even going to entertain that. I'm focusing on this 4D. Okay, the last thing, things to say when you are feeling triggered. Say to yourself, if you're feeling triggered, I don't need to react. The new version of me knows that I'm wealthy, I have all the money in the world, and you'd go into your money affirmations. Or I don't need to react to that. The new version of me knows that I'm in this amazing relationship with so-and-so, and we see each other twice a week, 3 times a week, we go out on weekly dates, they spoil me, So again, those 2 things that I'm saying, it's about shifting your focus to the version of you or the version of that person of what is wanted. Again, shifting your states. So I intend that made a whole lot of sense and I wasn't jumbling over my words. Listen to this video, this recording a few times if you need to. I intend that it was very, very helpful. Message me over on Instagram. My handle is @I'mSelena or the Nude Wellness one, nude_wellness. I will speak to you very soon. Remember, your reality, your rules. These were just my assumptions and my current process. If you need any extra help, details are in the description below. What else? Have an amazing day, and I will speak to you in the next video. Toodles. Bye.